should set this up first, but not a very happy vlog today. Stepped into the gas station and came across this. The last edition of the Rocky Mountain News. Crappy economy. And this is so emotional. I grew up here. I grew up at the Rocky Mountain News, even though it was in a position that was crap. My dad never got his dues. It was, corporate bullshit. But, I remember spending my Saturdays down at the Rocky Mountain News in downtown, which is now going to be a jail, I think. There's construction going on where it used to be. And they're sitting there Saturday mornings waiting for our early edition Sundays and talking with my friends about how we wish we can go ride the conveyor belts that dropped off the bundles of newspapers. And then when we'd get our papers, I'd help my dad. That was so big. Sticking the coins in the machines and putting in the back cards that said Sunday, on sale now. And then we had the regular paper route we delivered to the apartments over by DU, and every Sunday there's this old lady that used to think my dad was my grandpa, and oh, how sweet, you're helping your grandpa, and she'd have $5 for me every Sunday, which, what an impact. Many, many, many years later, I still remember her, even though she's obviously long gone. And then as I grew, my dad's job at the paper grew, and he had the newspaper route at the Denver Tech Center, and on the weekends, I'd go with his girlfriend's sister. She would drive, and I would deliver the papers, and I actually kind of got ripped off there. But still, it's Saturday and Sunday mornings at the Rocky Mountain News plant, and then at the new printer place, the Eslo plant, spending my mornings there, getting the papers and seeing how fast we can get done with the route. And then we got the Hawkers. My first real job where I really got paid and I was the employee. And I was 16 because I went to a night school where you showed up, you got credit, you did work, you got extra credit, but you had to have a job. So I started working for my dad, being the boss of those guys that sold newspapers in the middle of the street. And that was exciting because, the Avs won the Stanley Cup. I was there in the middle of that. The Denver Broncos won the Super Bowl. I was in the middle of that. People learned that information from me. And, Princess Diana dying, that was the most papers I ever sold. Because a lot of people, it happened in the middle of the night. And, they learned that from me through the Rocky Mountain News. And then I remember the first time missing the newspaper. Because the Hawkers went away in November of 2000. I was 22. And then, when 9/11 happened, that was the first time I missed the newspaper, missed being the one telling people. And just passing, this 55 days of 150 years. The owner of the Rocky Mountain News, Denver would not be here today without the Rocky Mountain News. He was such a great storyteller. He talked to the trains people that, the mountains aren't that bad, come build your trains here. Kind of, yeah, they were, but they've spent so much money in it, and so they kind of had to follow through. The end of an era. It's so awful. Even though it has been 9 years since I've had any kind of importance in there. It's where I grew up. it'll be missed. I won't read any more newspapers because I really cannot stand the Denver Post. Never could. Yay, Internet. And TV news. Even though I don't watch TV news, it's really the end of an era. It's sad. And I had more stories. I have stories. All the mornings, with my dad, with the paper route, racing to the bathroom afterwards. And we moved to our house on Jason Street that had 2 bathrooms, and we didn't have to do that anymore. And going to Mini Mart after the route. And he'd get coffee, and I'd get like a Dolly Madison pecan pie because he said it was good. And just in the hawkers I still run into on occasion. Just gets silver. Rest in peace, Rocky.